We got to predict the records for each one of these teams. We got to predict the division standings. We got to predict our Super Bowl matchup.
I think the Ravens go 14-3. I think overall the Ravens do have the best roster in the league, so I don't expect them to go anything less than 14-3. Man, I could see them losing to any of them. I could see them choking against the Browns. I could see them losing the shootout against the Bengals, and I could see them losing the slugfest against the Steelers. But I think the Ravens sweep. I say sweep. Would not be surprised if they lose. If they had to choose one team to lose to in this division, it would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah, I think we got this division wrapped up by the end of November. I think it's going to be one of those easy division wins. No offense, boys, but it's looking kind of crazy for you guys right now.
Dude,
I'm very confident this year. I got the Browns finishing last, unfortunately, because the Browns are, going through a bit of a transition at QB. And I'm nervous about this Steelers-Bengals thing. I have 10-7 for both teams, so I don't know how the tiebreakers work. I go ahead and put the Ravens 1, Steelers 2, Bengals 3, Browns 4. I think it's going to be Ravens versus Rams. Hoping it's not the Eagles because I think the Eagles will beat the Ravens. I'm going to go Ravens, Rams, and the Ravens finally get the job done. Lamar Jackson gets his first trophy.
First of all, I think it's wild that Sam thinks they're going to go 6-0. I think he's forgotten that we play in the AFC North. I think the Steelers, I'm going to have them 12-5 and the Ravens 12-5, but it comes down to the very last week, and you guys would laugh at me, Steelers, old man Rodgers can't be 12-5. But our defense can carry us for sure. We're going to be 12-5, and it's going to come down to the last game versus Steelers versus Ravens in week 18 or whenever that is to win the division. I'm going to go 12-5 for the Steelers to win the AFC North. Ravens be 12-5, but that's the last game comes down to it. And then I've got the Bengals at 10-6 who will make the playoffs because I think they're a pretty talented team as much as I can't stand them. And then the Browns, I think they're still quite competitive, to be honest. I think the Browns won't be like a Saints team this year. They'll go 6-11. They'll try and they'll figure it out to win a few games, trying to give you a lot of credit, but maybe Lions versus Bills, something like that. The Lions have been around for a bit in the last few playoff years. Can the Bills finally get Josh Allen over the Ravens? So I'm going to say Lions versus Bills and Lions win. Feel good storylines.
I was going to say Lions Bills would feed generations of families, two organizations who have never won one. That would be something.
I think the Bengals win 12 games.
12 games for the Bengals. Is that good enough to win the AFC North, in your opinion?
That's the hard part. As I was listening to Sam, it's not that I disagree with a lot of stuff that he said. I thought him sweeping the AFC North is insanely wild. That is not a hot take.
No, I said what I said was a hot take with the 6.
Yeah, I mean, sweeping the North is crazy. I don't disagree. I think he has the best roster in the AFC for sure. And so that does make me feel like a certain type of way. I really want to say that they would win 12 games as well. But for the spirit of AFC North Roundtable, I'm going to say that they win 11 games. I told Sam in the offseason, as soon as our last show was over, I said, I'm going to play you in the AFC Championship. I'm not moving off of that point. I believe that the Steelers will be 9-8. I think they'll be in the same boat we were in. They go 9-8 and then like barely miss the playoffs or something like that. And then the Browns, the bet from RotoWire, I thought was a good one. The 5.5, I would take the over on that. I think that they win 6 games.
Ravens, Bengals, AFC Championship. So who wins that? Who's playing in the Super Bowl, and who are they playing against?
I think Bengals. I really feel good about this team. Yeah, I feel good. I feel way better about this team than I did, going into all these other off seasons where they didn't do stuff. I think people are not paying attention to the moves that they did make. They're under the radar. I think the Bengals win that game. When it's all on the line, pressure situation, Joe Burrow in that type of environment, making you throw against them, I got Bengals going. And I just don't think that the Eagles are a roster that anybody in the league can mess with. Like, that Eagles roster is insane.
If Joe Flacco plays 17 games, I'm giving us 10 wins. But if he doesn't play 17, and I'm probably leaning closer to that, I still think we find a way to do, at worst, 7 wins. So I'm going to lean towards the 8 and 9 without Joe. Joe Flacco's starting this season out 2-0. The storybook is too good. He's going to spoil the Ravens' little 30th anniversary shindig. Joe Flacco going to play 17. So give me that 10 marker.
You said 2-0, but you skipped week 1.
You're not needed in this. We already know what time it is. Here's my prediction for week 1.
What time is it?
Joe Flacco gonna come in. The fever gonna be hot the first 2 weeks. 2 opponents he's super familiar with. He gonna handle business, and then we probably go on a 2-game losing streak after that, maybe 3. I mean, what kind of storybook would you say? Joe Flacco 3-0 to start the year against the AFC North? I like it.
And that would be a hell of a statement. Joe Flacco wins against the Bengals and the Ravens to open things up. Man, oh man.
I don't know if 10-7 is good enough just because of the division, I'm going to say we get in somehow, some way. But if we miss out, it's only going to be because of the Bengals. I feel like they're just going to be.
Sunglasses back. It's crazy.
Oh,
Shades are back on, and he ain't even outside.
I love Burrow, though. I love Burrow. But
Money
the Steelers,
bags.
the Steelers, they going to be last in the division this year. You know, I appreciate you giving us 6-win mark. I really do. You know, I'm going to go ahead and say y'all probably only get about 6 wins this year. 6 wins. I'm telling you, you are so close to Browns territory. You don't know. And you're in the delusion stage. Eventually,
I'm delusional.
Eventually, you understand that you're delusional, but you're close. It's not you're not quite there yet, but you're on your way. So I'm gonna go. I'll go Ravens 1. They're the 07-09 Cavaliers. We know what time it is in the regular season. I'm more so worried about the playoffs, what they're gonna do there. I think the Bengals will probably finish second. I'm a big believer in Joe Burrow, and then I'll go Browns third, Steelers last.
I feel like you're using logic with Joe Burrow. For anyone that's thinking that that's crazy, do y'all think that the guy that led the whole entire National Football League in yards, in total yards, if he got to the playoffs, that's an MVP candidate just off that. So, like, anyone that's thinking that's crazy is not using logic. That would make you crazy. Just want to throw that out there.
I'm going to go storylines. And for some odd reason, I don't know what's going to happen, but the way things have been happening to the Browns lately, Baker Mayfield is going to find his freaking way to a Super Bowl somehow, some way. He don't got a lot of time to do it. I'm going to go 2 number 1 overall picks, Joe Burrow, Tampa Bay.
Wow. A Super Bowl nobody saw coming. Wouldn't that be something?